Good day, David.
Good day. What are you doing waking me up so early, Vivek? I know you're 5 hours ahead of me, but it's only 6:30 a.m. where I am.
Yeah. So, how has been your New Year celebrations and so on? And I'm sure you have had quite a few ideas swimming in your head.
Oh my goodness, my head isn't big enough, Vivek, for all the ideas that are swimming. Although I have been accused of having a big head in my lifetime, so.
That I mean, as someone said, unless if no one objects to what you're doing, then you're not doing it well enough.
Well, that plays to the point of kind of where I am with my theme. I want to put as many good business ideas and quite well. You know that my format is developing questions.
Yeah.
And not only will we take these questions and throw some of them out into the general public. We'll throw short answers to the questions out to the general public, and then for more detailed answers where we can actually do interactions using the beautiful, wonderful Hangout technology. Whether or not we make, well, we'll probably do private, not probably, we will do private Hangouts on air to create the longer answers to the questions, and then folks that want to get involved and interact with me directly, either with my questions or their own small business question. You know, I know what the right questions are, Vivek, but they don't necessarily, all of them aren't necessarily appropriate to every business in existence, but most of them will be. Most of them will be. So we're taking this this last 100 days of the year, and boy, we're back. We're into the 90s now. We don't have 100 days left anymore, Vivek. we're into the 90s. It looks like if today's the 26th, it looks like we're at probably 97 days left in the year. And I do have most of the questions. Well, I've got the keywords that I've been publishing in my stream every day. Or I missed one day this week. By tomorrow, I will have all of my keywords out there, which incidentally, it's going to create another dilemma for me, Vivek, because there's more than 100 of them out there. My goodness. I tried to take the best of the best, and I still can't get it down to 100.
Yeah, let me... Can I give you a response to that? You may not like it.
Well, number one, I think you said about 3 minutes ago that if I'm not causing somebody to interact either positively or negatively, I'm not doing my job. So bring it on, Vivek. You know what? Coming from you, I don't care what the question will never make me mad. It could challenge me, but it will. Coming from you, it will never ever not. I will not like any question that you ask. How's that?
Thank you. Yeah, one thing I heard Steve Jobs say. I mean, of course, he didn't say that to me. He was saying. One of his quotes is, for every single yes, there are 1,000 no's.
And who would know better than Steve Jobs?
So,
except with him, for every yes, there was 1,000,000 no's.
Yeah, but no, the point is, you have all those lots of keywords. Probably some of them are no's. You don't need them, or maybe they are actually part of another keyword, or they probably you could combine them maybe, or
absolutely. So I like your question because you're absolutely right with your question, and that will evolve
Yeah.
as I start to develop the answers to the questions. Well, I have the answers to the questions. They're all in my head. Now we got to
Mhm.
get them. We got to get them into a hangout.
Yeah.
And you know what the beauty of that is, Vivek?
Mm-hmm.
The beauty of that is, and herein lies. Well, I told you we're going to answer the questions.
Mm.
And not only are we going to answer the questions with the keywords that I have used, I am opening myself up to anybody, any community member,
Mm.
be a member of the community. It's easy to join. uh, that they can ask the question that is most perplexing to them, and
Mm.
we will take a shot. Not we'll take a shot. I guarantee that I will set that individual with that question in the right direction to
Mm.
finding an answer. I
Yeah.
I absolutely guarantee that.
Yeah. Okay. We are
So
actually.
what you wanted to do this morning is kind of create a process. What's the process going
Yeah.
to be? All the
I'm getting into that. I'm actually trying to get enough information from you to fill in the business case for a website for dreaming with entrepreneurs. So I would be asking a lot of questions, and which I'm sure you would like. Um, okay, here's the first one. Uh, what? Why do you need a website?
why do I need a website?
Yeah.
Or business in general? Just your
No.
thoughts.
Why does? Yeah.
Okay. Dreaming with Entrepreneurs needs a website. Uh, Probably the primary reason will be to organize all the
Mhm.
various things that we have going on, knowing that you can find them all in on our Dreaming with inside of our DreamingWithEntrepreneurs.com community.
Mm.
So I've got a lot of Google Plus initiatives going on.
Mm.
Obviously, we use the Hangouts
Mm.
and Google. My Google journal, if you
Mhm.
will, has lots and lots and lots of information. And I've got over 750 YouTubes. Uh,
Mhm.
I found, Vivek, and now we're getting precisely to your answer. I found a couple years ago when I developed a site called davidsbarter.com,
Mhm.
any YouTube that I did at that period of time, in that period of time, became its own unique landing page
Mm.
inside of that davidsbarter.com web community.
Mm.
So I literally had hundreds of landing pages containing videos
Mm.
of all of those keywords and questions and answers
Mm.
that I had. And in some cases, many cases, they weren't necessarily questions, Vivek. They were just uh, uh, small business information. Me finding some information, somebody else's information that I thought was very, very appropriate and good and thought-provoking. So I included that. But Google loved the concept.
Mm.
They loved it because I was doing an HOA, as you know, as everybody knows, it automatically becomes a YouTube. Then I was just
Mm.
embedding the code on a
Mm.
landing page in the community. So Google really loved that triple header, triple hit, if you will.
Yeah.
And they recognized it by the search results that I was seeing
Mm.
uh, inside of inside of Google. So it's a summary statement to the question would be that it puts everything in one place, better organizes it.
Mm.
Um, we will have some flexibility, obviously, to do some things on the landing pages that we don't have in Google just because of their platform, their technology platform. And that's why I wanted to get somebody like you involved, because you know Google technology as well as anybody does.
Yeah.
And so taking that knowledge with your general knowledge of marketing, and you like to say, well, you're an engineer that doesn't know how to market, but I disagree with you. I think you're an engineer that does know how to market, and I'll prod you along the way.
Yeah.
But taking all those resources and putting it together, then we've got a website. And it's a website not to tell everybody how great we are and we can do this and do this and do this. Here it is. Here's the answer to the question. You agree or disagree? Can it help you? Can you use this information in your business or not? So it's a community of blogs and videos and whatever we feel is the best way to communicate the information to the public.
Okay. Now the next question. Time scales.
Time?
Yeah, time scales. When do you want this? I'm not saying you're going to have a grand party and invite all celebrities and have a grand launch party. No, I'm not saying that.
Why not? Why not?
well, of course you could, but
okay, here's to answer your question. Here's what we'll do. As you know, because you know me well enough now, everything that I do is a work in progress. So the big answer is the website will never be complete.
Yeah. No, I didn't mean to say that.
But let's set
exactly that. Yes.
Let's set a time frame, because you absolutely have to set time frames within your business, or things are not going to happen. They won't. Yeah. So I'm saying you and I we are beginning the process right now, and as quickly as we can get page 1. I think that's what we're looking at. We're looking at page 1, and you and I are looking at you are putting technology into place, and once I see that template, I will put the content into place, and I would say by the end of next week we better be in high gear, or you and I better look for something else to do with our lives.
Yeah. Did you say by the end of next week?
Yes, to have the first page. I would say it's going to happen way sooner than that. But if it doesn't happen by the end of next week, then you and I need to re-examine the system and the process.
Yeah. Okay.
By the way, let me interject real quickly, unrelated. I was listening to Michael Gerber's his own reading of E-Myth Revisited on my drive, and oh my goodness, as he was talking about some things, and I know you love Michael Gerber too. I was just, oh my goodness, all the things that I'm thinking about and what I want to do, he's talking about in this tape. I'm saying, wow, I'm doing the right thing, because Michael says I'm doing the right thing.
Yeah.
and one thing he talks about, and I missed it the first time around. It means more to me. He's got what I'm calling the Michael Gerber 10, 20, 70 rule. Make a note of that, and you and I are going to do an HOA or something with what I'm calling the Michael Gerber 10, 20, 70 rule. Because just his explanation of well, he called it's 10%. He said most businesses that start or exist, they are 10% entrepreneurial, they are 20% managerial, and they are 70% technical. And or that's the no, I said that wrong. The individual, the entrepreneur who starts the business is 10% entrepreneurial, 20% managerial, 70% engineer or technical. Now he says that's why businesses fail, because that's the wrong piece of the numbers are wrong. The numbers, and I'm thinking.
They need to think more than just the technology. They need to think more than just the managing. They just need to think more than just the entrepreneurship and starting something. So they need all three.
Oh, they absolutely need all three. That's the three elements of any business. But what I am saying is maybe those numbers need to be reversed at minimum. And that's what I want to explore with you are those numbers. And
let's do a separate hangout.
Yes, oh yeah, absolutely a separate discussion.
Yeah.
But I thought you would enjoy that because I was listening to him on my ride, and I'm saying, wow, no wonder he's so smart. And I was listening to, and I've alluded to it in previous discussions that you and I have had about his whole study of why Ray Kroc was such a wonderful entrepreneur and created such a wonderful concept in McDonald's, and why McDonald's was successful. And he breaks that down to its gut levels, if you will. Okay, question number 3.
I'm looking at the business options you may have. One could be do nothing. The other could be do the minimum. And third is do something. So we need to identify each of them. Do nothing is, of course, ruled out. I mean, we wouldn't be talking in this hangout if that was the option. But if you notice, I am actually going through the process of the PRINCE2 as per PRINCE2.
Is that where you got all this info? Somehow I thought that's where it's coming from. Well, here's what we're doing. We're taking the discussions that you and I have had for the last 11 weeks, and we're drilling them down and making that. We're creating a template that small business owners need to understand so that they can be successful in achieving their goals and objectives.
So yeah, we do need to do something. So will it be the minimum, or will it be a bit more substantial than that?
And you know that's a rhetorical question of me. I'm going to let you give. I'm going to let you give my answer.
I think a mix of both. I don't know.
We're going to take now, Vivek. I will take a business idea, a business concept, and obviously, if I make the choice to pursue that as an option of what I want to do with my time, then it's important. So I will take that idea and play it out to its hilt as much as I possibly can. One of the things I want to do with these 100 questions, that all of them will have a place inside of Google. They will all have a place on a landing page somewhere in entrepreneurs.com. And I want to, in the spirit of repurposing, and you and I know how important it is to take the content that you create and repurpose it as much as you possibly can. One of the things I was thinking about on my ride back home was I want to publish an ebook. The ebook, I'm developing the content, so as soon as I'm done with the content, obviously, we'll go to work on mechanically producing the ebook, and I'm going to bring some other people into the project, so to speak, for their expertise. But ebooks are a wonderful way for business owners to not only understand fully what's going on in their own business, but to share the information with other folks. And that's why you publish a book. You want to share information. That information is either to entertain them or to educate them. One of those two things. So I'm really excited about taking all this content that we're creating and creating an ebook at the end of the process.
Okay, you mentioned two words there: educate and entertain. I would again go back and quote to you what Steve Jobs, not quote, what Steve Jobs used to do. He used to do 3 things: inform, entertain, educate.
And actually, it's interesting. I did two of the three, but I think inform ties right into educate.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, there's a fine line between, informing somebody and educating somebody, because you're informing them with the information that you are providing, and that is educating them. So,
Yeah.
hey man, if Steve Jobs says it, and I'm gonna do it. Hey man, I'm on my way. My goodness,
Okay.
now if I could create, let me digress for a moment here. I have to, we all watched in the final days of Steve Jobs. We knew that they were his final days.
Mm.
And about 2 weeks, Vivek, about 2 weeks before he died, his company that he had created, that he had started from day one, from idea one, was the largest company in the world based upon capitalization, the number of shares out there, and what the value of each share was. Multiply those two numbers, and Apple, and they still, I don't know if they've lost that position. They're close, or either one, two, or three, with the most valuable companies in the world. What a thrill that was to him to be able to, on that day. He was the largest business, and I remember reading about it. It was a day where the number of shares of stock times the value of those shares created the most capitalized company in the world.
Yeah. Okay. Coming to the next question. Expected benefits. Can you explain?
We will educate, we will entertain, and we will inform anybody that receives or finds a way to get our information, however they choose to do it. We have to; those have to be the three objectives, and how we measure the success of what we've done. But the way that I look at things now, because we've talked a lot about it. Of all the things I do, Vivek, I want at least one good thing, one new business relationship, one new movement forward of a business because of an idea that I've been able to interject in discussion. I just want a new partnership, a new collaboration. I just want at least one new thing to happen to somebody other than myself, not to me.
Yeah.
Because I make it happen. That is my daily goal and objective. But if one good thing can happen to another entrepreneur, another small business owner, it's been a complete day for me. It's been not a complete. It's been a great day for me.
Yeah. Okay. So benefits, you are saying, no, expected benefits out of this website projects. You are saying it would provide education, information, and entertainment.
Entertainment, because of I'll be presenting all the information in videos, and I like to entertain folks while I'm doing a video.
Yeah.
So, if nothing else, I'll be entertaining myself, Vivek. Hopefully, I'll be able to entertain other people too.
Yeah. So these benefits, would you say they are measurable?
Yep.
They are.
Yep. They're measured by the feedback that we get from the rest of the world. They're very measurable.
Oh, you already said that one business.
Yeah. Well, I know that it's already happening. Maybe I can make it two things happen. maybe that's instead of one good thing. Maybe the goal ought to be two good things a day. And yes, they're very measurable, and they're measured in many ways by the feedback that I get from folks. That's how I know.
What would be the tolerances you would set? As in, yes, you already said that if it stops happening, you would stop doing the HOAs and so on. But that still means that there has to be a tolerance, as in, okay, I would let say that's my number or figure. You give me yours. let's say if I do 10 HOAs and nothing happens, then I would say not worth it.
Interesting concept, because I will continue this process until I can't do it anymore. So I don't know. I guess my tolerance is I don't know what my tolerance is. I guess my tolerance is that I can't physically or mentally do it anymore. That's my tolerance.
Okay.
How's that for an abstract answer?
Yeah, that's fine. Costs. Well, what cost do you see for this website venture or project or whatever you want to call it?
The biggest cost is one that it's hard to put a dollar value on, and that's the cost of time. I mean, obviously, I'm going to be spending lots and lots and lots and lots of time creating and building and developing. In terms of out-of-pocket costs, which I guess is the question that you're asking, I'm going to give a bad answer to the question. I'm going to give a bad answer. My bad answer is I'm not sure. I don't have a handle on that. Okay? Because, well, let's not kid ourselves. You and I are going to be building something together because you're there with me. Now, you could give me an invoice for $20,000, $25,000 for your work, and that would be a real cost, incurred by the business. I don't know what that number is going to be. So, but here's my plan. My plan is to give back to you 20 times what you've given to me. Now, I'll send you my bill. You can send me your bill, and then we'll figure out what the net bill is.
It's not. I didn't actually. That wasn't really my question.
Well, to that point, I think on your behalf, to educate, somehow we'll figure it out, the rest of the world, what investment in the skills like that you possess, what should that cost them? Is that a $10 an hour number? Is that a $1,000 an hour number? So I don't have a good handle on that, but you do, because that's your business. So I think maybe in time we will bring out that number and put it into perspective for folks. Yeah, because it's a real cost. I'll tell you this. I made a huge mistake in my lifetime. One of the biggest business mistakes I have ever made, was developing having a technology partner that the project cost me way too much money, and I let it get out of control, and I made a bad business decision, and so in doing that, I want to help people not make the same bad decision that I made. Now, one of the reasons I made a bad decision was I allowed personal feelings get into a business environment, and that was a huge mistake, because then I became in denial of things that weren't happening in the business because they should have been happening. I was writing them off to the character of the individual and who was developing them for me. So, simply said, I put my trust in another individual to build and develop for me, and it was misplaced trust.
Yeah, I think a reaction to that. It's my belief. It's my belief that probably what happened there in that past experience that you had was your starting point was what? Your starting point was what? Your starting point was, I need a website. That's a what. and the individual who did that, developed that for you, said, what does he need? He needs okay, money, maybe, sustenance, or he wants a, I don't know, he wants a new Ferrari, or a Rolls Royce, or I don't know. So when the starting point is what, the actual aim is actually in a way lost. It's
Great point.
you would I mean, you want something to happen, you know the reasons why you want them to happen, but the other person is not really interested in any of that, because that person is interested in the what, the
Well, to your point, we had a similar discussion. Because I remember it exactly. The discussion that you and I are having right now, we had a very similar. Now, it was not as defined and organized because he wasn't driving the process as he should have been driving it, asking me the questions that you're asking me. So that's a big why it failed. He wasn't asking the questions. I was giving the answers. I was saying what I wanted, and then he saw dollar signs. Oh yeah, I can do that. Oh yeah, I can do that. Oh yeah, I can do that. Your point is well taken. Your point is well taken.
Yeah. Okay. Coming to the last question there. What do you see are the major risks?
There is no risk. There is no risk.
in this website venture, website project.
I'm being a little sarcastic, but I don't look at life and entrepreneurial activity as risk for me. Now, that's not necessarily, that is certainly not the case for everybody else. But my own business model, I don't look at things as risk. I look them as opportunities and a way of life. And so I do it. Is a risk involved? Yeah. The risk is it's wasted time. That's the risk is wasted time. Doing the wrong thing. That's the risk answer. Okay. I knew I'd get to it. Took me a few seconds, but I knew I'd get to it.
Yeah. Major risks.
Well, and it's an appropriate answer for some personal discussions you and I have had in the last couple of days. The wasted time.
Yeah.
And time is the most precious resource that we all have. And we all have the same 24 hours in a day. It's how do we choose to use that time.
Yeah. Why I bring in all the costs and major risks and all that is, I mean, actually same reason what you mentioned, your past experience with website developer. It's when what is the prevailing question? What do we want to do? What do we do? Or when what is the major question? It's web developers would tend to give you, we can do this, we can do that, we can overwhelm you with lots and lots of ideas. We can do this, we can have an e-commerce site. I'm just trying to give you an example. E-commerce site, we can integrate PayPal into that. We can make people pay for your ebook directly through all that. I mean, when that happens, you would kind of, as a business owner, you would tend to get kind of sidetracked into technology issues rather than what you actually need to do. You get overwhelmed by the technology aspects, and you, in a way, you would be playing into their hands. Whoever is trying to overwhelm you with all that, what we can do this, what another, what do something else. Go on adding, piling on top of one another. But when the why you need to do all that is not answered, the whole thing becomes wasted.
Well, it's a beautiful, wonderful statement to be made, because to that end, don't develop a website without having a very well-defined business purpose.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have that well-defined business purpose, it will never be reflected in that website. It'll be all, your website will be all over the place.
Yeah.
That's a great point, Vivek, that you need to have that business objective in place first. Now, to your comments, there will be e-commerce opportunities on the website. If I'm going to have an ebook for sale, there's going to be an e-commerce aspect to it. Lots of information, and because there's going to be lots of information, it has to be well organized. And you've already demonstrated very clearly to me that you know how to do all that, to organize it and make it. And we're just isn't this wonderful, Vivek? All we are really doing now, not all, but a big part of what we are doing now, is taking those discussions that you and I have had about PRINCE2 for the last 11 weeks, and we are putting it to practical use. Isn't that a wonderful thing that's happening? And by its very nature, which this session that you and I are having right now, which was initially intended to be a private session between you and myself, I want the world to see what we have just done. So we're gonna repurpose this thing. We're gonna take a private discussion and show the world. And because your objective was to help me build the business case using the principles of PRINCE2. We've built that business case.
Yeah.
And now, if you and I can do it, the rest of the world can do it. We've created the template to get the process started. Thank you. You've done a great job today, Vivek. Send me your bill, and I'll put it in the bills to be paid pile. No, you and I are going to, from the business side of things and the practical side of things, you and I are going to realize a return on investment in the real terms of the money. There will be money coming out at the end of the process. I promise you that.
Yeah, I understand that, and I suppose the critical point is that is not the aim. Money is not the aim.
Never has been with me.
That's the result. That would be the result.
Icing on the cake.
Yeah.
But unlike a lot of entrepreneurs, and it's not a bad thing. They're driven by how much money can I make, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. For me, my drive has never been about money. If money came along, and it has come along obviously over the years, that's a great thing. And so I guess that part of it makes it really fun when you can do something that you have a passion for and you love it and you do it and you can realize revenue on it so that you can bring resources into your family, do things in your life that you never dreamed that you'd be able to do. I mean, that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. But for me, in the over 40 years that I've been doing this, money has never been the big driving force. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Money's, like I said, money's been there over the years, but it's not been the big driver.
Yeah, I understand. Okay.
Let me ask you this: with your vast knowledge of Stephen Jobs. I mean, because you quote him all the time. Obviously, you study him very, very closely. Was money a big driving factor for him in his lifetime? Because God knows he had all the money that he could possibly need.
He did go completely broke.
Yes, as virtually every entrepreneur does in their lifetime.
Yeah, and
sometimes more than once.
yeah, and then he came back. So the reason was that he wasn't driven by the money alone. He was driven more by the ideology, driven by the think different, make things simple. That was his ideology. That's what.
And how does Leonardo fit into the formula? Because you like to quote him also.
Yeah, simplicity is the ultimate in sophistication. So that's what he believed, and yeah. Okay, I think we have come to end of this. I think you have definitely made a strong business case, and as per the PRINCE2 principles, this business case will be modified, added to. We could remove bits of it as and when required, but it's not the final one. It's not written in. It's not carved in stone. That's what a business case should be. It's as per PRINCE2 principles. It's constantly evaluated. So at the end of every stage, it needs to be evaluated and seen. Are we on the right track? Are we? I mean, that's one of the reasons why I asked you about the expected benefit.
And to that point, and I just referenced this in a discussion that you and I had, I don't know, a couple of weeks ago. One of the most fascinating advertising campaigns, marketing campaigns that I've seen in my life happened very, very early, and it happened about 40 years ago. And there were full-page ads taken out in a trade publication called Advertising Age. Advertising Age is still around. I don't read it like I used to. I see some e-version stuff. I don't get the printed magazine. But on the back cover, they ran a campaign that one of the big ad agencies ran. I don't remember which one it was, but just in big bold letters, it's not creative unless it sells. So to that point, you and I can have the greatest entrepreneurial ideas that we think, and if we didn't think they were great, we wouldn't pursue them. But they don't become great things in life unless we build an audience, we build a following, we build people along the way. Some people will pay for what we are doing, and that's the true measure of your great idea. If nothing is happening with it, it wasn't that great of an idea.
So yeah, the point I was making was this would be evaluated at every stage, and that's what we would do. And yeah, let me. These are my closing comments for this session, this discussion. Yeah, it would be evaluated. I would be creating a document, if you will, or maybe possibly a mind map of things. We may be discussing this again at a later stage, the process of creating the mind map or whatever, but the business case will be reviewed, evaluated, added, modified, and so on. So I'm not going to print. I mean, I've seen companies have such discussions, create a huge document, Word document, whatever, and print it into a book form. Do spiral binding, beautifully bound, and all that, and when they do that, they're actually, what they're saying is that's the end of the business case. and that's the wrong approach to take. I mean, no, you of course you can print, but it has to be modified, it has to be evaluated, and so on. So yeah, thank you, David, for spending your time.
No, it's not thank you for me spending my time. It's
Yeah,
thank you for showing me the best efficient use of my time,
yeah,
and that was to answer the questions that you asked me. Thank you for posing the questions.
yeah. Okay. As always, integrate, simplify life.
I knew you'd get that. And I have one other, as always. Avoid the cowboys and hire the Indians.
Thank you.